Hello, kindergarten, and welcome to another math lesson. We are nearing the end, learning all about flat and solid shapes. So today, we're going to have a little fun with these shapes. Your math thinking job is I can show what I know about flat and solid shapes. So let's dive right in. Let's review these flat shapes. Our flat shapes are shapes that we lie right down, and if you look at them close, you can't see them, and you can slide your hand across. Now, on solid shapes, you can sometimes see these flat shapes, and we call them faces. So our flat shapes are a rectangle, and we know a shape is a rectangle because it has four corners, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 straight sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, on a rectangle, the sides are not the same length. There are 2 long sides and 2 short sides. Your corners are also L-shaped. This is a triangle. A triangle has 3 corners, 1, 2, 3, and 3 sides. 1, 2, 3. These corners are not L-shaped. They're more pointy. This is the shape of a circle. You know a shape is a circle because it has all curves. It's round all the way around. There's no corners, there's no straight sides. It has all curves. And this is a square. A square is different from a rectangle because all 4 sides are the same length. A square also has 4 corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. A square's corners are also L-shaped. These are our flat shapes. Your teacher might pause the video and review flat shapes for a little bit longer. These are our solid shapes. You're going to see solid shapes in objects around the room you're in, at home, in the store, anywhere you go, there are objects that have solid shapes. This solid shape is a sphere. We know an object has the solid shape of a sphere because it has all curves. There's no faces, there's no edges, there's no corners. It's round. This is a solid shape, and the name is a cube. We know an object is the shape of a cube because it has 6 faces, it has points, and it has edges. This is the solid shape cone. We know an object has the solid shape of a cone because it has 1 face at the bottom. Remember, you can find that face if you have the object and you look at the bottom. And a cone can stand up. Cone also has 1 point, but no straight edges. This is the solid shape of a cylinder. We know an object has the solid shape of a cylinder because it has 2 faces. Don't get tricked. Remember, you need to look at the bottom of a cylinder to find that second face. A cylinder has no edges, and if you put it on its side, it can roll, just like a sphere, and a cone can roll too. Your teacher might pause the video and review solid shapes a little bit longer. All right. We're going to play with these flat and solid shapes. Your teacher's going to pause the video. You're going to name this shape. You're going to draw this shape, and you're going to describe the shape, then find the shape in the room you're in. You probably said this is a rectangle. You drew it. You described it with 4 corners, 4 sides. Name this shape, draw this shape, describe the shape, and find it. This is a square. You can describe it as having 4 corners and 4 sides. Your teacher's going to pause the video and you're going to name this shape, draw it, describe it, and find it. And you can describe it as 3 corners and 3 sides. Your teacher's going to pause the video, name the shape, draw it, describe it, and find it. This is a circle, and you can describe a circle as having all curves. All right, let's do some solid shapes. Your teacher's going to pause the video, you're going to name it, then you're going to describe it, find it, and then draw that object that you found. This is a cube. We can describe a cube by having 6 faces, having edges, and having corners. You might have looked around a room and were able to find maybe a tissue box. Your teacher's going to pause the video and you are going to name this solid shape, describe it, then find it, and then draw it. This is a cylinder, and we can describe a cylinder by having 2 faces and no edges. And you might have looked around a room and found a Lysol wipe container. Your teacher's going to pause the video and you're going to name this shape, describe the shape, find the shape, and draw the object that you found. This is a sphere, and we can describe a sphere as having no faces, no edges, and no corners. This sphere rolls. You might have looked around the room, maybe you saw a ball in the room. Try this shape. Your teacher's going to pause the video, you're going to name this shape, describe it, find it, and then draw it. This is a cone. We can describe a cone by having 1 face, 1 point, and no edges. This is a tricky one. Your teacher might have a party hat in the classroom, might have an actual cone in the classroom. Now, we're going to do some sorting of some solid shapes. We reviewed flat shapes and solid shapes. Let's do some sorting. Your teacher in a moment is going to pause the video and decide where these objects, these shapes, should be sorted. You need to determine, are they flat shapes or solid shapes? So we learned this is a circle. We learned circles are flat, so we're going to sort it under flat. This is an ice cream cone. Did you decide this was flat or solid? We learned cones are solid. They have 1 face and 1 point. What about this object, this shape? This shape is a sphere. It's a marble. A sphere is round. We're going to move it over to the solid. What about this shape? This shape is a rectangle. A rectangle has 4 corners, 2 long sides, and 2 short sides. How about this shape versus this shape? We know that this is a square, and this looks like a square. However, it's not a square, it's a cube. A cube has 6 faces. That's the shape of a square. So a cube is a 3D shape. That means it takes 6 squares to make a cube. A square is a flat shape. What about this can of soup? This is a cylinder, and it's a solid shape. We learned this shape is a triangle, and we know a triangle is a flat shape with 3 points and 3 sides. Today in Seesaw, you're going to have the opportunity to do some naming of the shape as well as some drawing of the shape. Until next time, bye Kipsters.